All right, so now we are live on multiple platforms, and today we are inviting. This is the series, Conscious Lifestyle series, which we are running, and today we are focusing on the health because health and longevity is something which everybody is look around, and everybody wants to have a good longevity and good old age as well. Whether you are working professional, entrepreneur, age in 20s, 30s, or maybe 50s, still we all have the priority to have a great health. That's why we have our disease reversal expert, Akhil Nirugati. And Akhil Nirugati is an engineer by education and turned into holistic nutritionist. And he himself suffered for IBS, that is irritable bowel syndrome, for more than 10 years, following with OCD, chronic anxiety, brain fog, sciatica, knee pains, whatever disease you can think of, he was having at some point of time, but he came over all of these. And now he is also helping others to come over all these challenges. So that I believe that he is the right person to talk about. He has the expertise and all credibility to talk about these health conditions and how to reverse these conditions. So with that, I would like to invite Akhil. Akhil, over to you. And please tell more about yourself. How was your journey? And then you can take to your session.
Yes, thank you so much, Akanksha, for that introduction. Hope my voice is clear to every one of you. Yes, so thank you so much, Akanksha, for introducing me. So myself, Akhil, I'm a holistic nutritionist. As Akanksha mentioned, that I've been dealing with multiple issues. Yes, from early childhood issues. Childhood, I was dealing with a lot of constipation, with gut health issues. Then I've dealt with OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder, in which is basically you get repetitive negative thoughts, and it's like a panic situation. And I used to get heart palpitations, a lot of gut health issues like stomach cramps and stuff like that. I dealt with sciatica. I dealt with eczema as well. A lot of autoimmune conditions, if you know stuff like that. Great. So today I'm over here as a member over here in the Akaksha's team over there. So I want to share some kind of hacks that can improve your longevity and which can work with you with respect to your. It's not just about food. It's also about lifestyle changes that we make sure to do in our lifestyles, right? So we want to discuss about how we can move ahead and make our health much more better. Yes, I think we can go ahead with the things that Akanksha from right.
Yes, we can go ahead.
Yes, I think we can start off right.
Yeah, yeah, we can start.
Okay, great. So let's proceed and let's start off with what is actually creating the issues. How many of you are dealing with certain health conditions, or you have some of the other issues, or you've been trying to lose weight or gain weight, anything like that? Can you type out in the chat box if possible, if that's feasible to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody should be able to put in a comment box.
Yes,
So
yes,
I'm
they are
sure,
typing it.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, more healthier lifestyle. Okay, great. Good to know that. Yeah. So now I'll be giving a new perspective for you, like how these health issues are coming to your body. It's not just about food. Many people think, yes, you have to eat this food, that food, eat high protein, eat low carbohydrates. You have to cut, you should not be eating more carbohydrates. That's going to create harm for you. But these are all basic ones, okay? And sometimes not these things are not very much true as well. There are much more things that are affecting our body which we need to be focusing on. Okay, so before we go to the especially food and aspect and stuff like that, we want to understand what are the root causes and what are the lifestyle changes that we have to do in terms of healing ourselves and keeping ourselves healthy and achieve the utmost longevity. Okay, on that note, I'm going to show you that. Yes, let me share my screen. Yes, I hope you should be able to see my screen. Yeah. Yes, great. So first things first, you need to understand this that there are multiple root causes of diseases. So these are the summarized root cause of diseases, which is basically toxic heavy metals, there's plastics, there's radiation, there is artificial fragrances which are affecting us, and then comes toxic food additives that are building up, and then comes the viruses and bacteria. You know, the viruses and bacteria. Now, I want to dive a little bit more deeper into each one of these aspects so it will be more clear for you. So, what are toxic heavy metals? Now, toxic heavy metals are those which are toxic to the human body, which are basically neurotoxins by nature. Neurotoxins means toxins that affect your nerves, toxins that affect your neurons in the brain. I want to ask you one question. How many of you are using aluminum based vessels in your home, especially silver colored based vessels in your home that you can see on the right side of the screen? How many of you using them? Type out yes in the chat box if you're using them, if you're using aluminum based vessels in your home, the silver colored based vessels. Yeah. Okay. So in case if you're using aluminum based vessels, you need to understand aluminum is a known neurotoxin. So aluminum is going to, leach into your food when you cook it for the over a long period of time, and then this aluminum is going to start attack your nerves in the intestines, and it's going to create a situation of chaos in your intestines and stuff like that. If you order food from Swiggy and Zomato, they also obviously come in aluminum foil, okay, and they obviously cook in aluminum vessels. So that's why you have to reduce the intake of outside food very often. And also coming to tap water, many people also think that tap water just by heating it and drinking it is okay. But you need to understand tap water is the highest source of toxic heavy metals, especially if you're living in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities. The water is almost contaminated with a lot of metals. Just heating it is not sufficient. You need to use a good quality purifier, preferable in RO, if you're living in tier 1 and tier 2 cities. Okay. And toxic heavy metals, we also get exposed from dental fillings and other stuff as well. Like you have the dental fillings right on your tooth and stuff, they're also exposed. The next root cause is plastics. So many people, think plastic water bottles are okay. There is a Tupperware or there's some food grade plastic and stuff like that. But in reality, plastic is an endocrine disruptor. It disrupts your hormones. It disrupts your endocrine gland. That means the hormone production producing glands, right? Now, this is going to affect the hormonal health, hormonal imbalance, and stuff like that. That is why switching to what do you call it? Stainless steel water bottles or stainless steel vessels or glass water bottles with a protection towards it, because so it is not breaking it, and using stainless steel vessels, using ceramic vessels, or all these things that you can apply in your life instead of using plastics, because all these things are harmful for you, which is not good for you. Okay. Moving forward, I think, are you able to, you are with me, right? If I'm correct, every one of you, are you able to go ahead with me? Just want some feedback from your side. I'm able to you're able to hear me. That's great. Good to know that. Just for my reference for that. Great. The next one is radiation. Now, people think radiation doesn't affect us anymore, but in reality, it affects us in a lot more different ways. And it's not like people think it's radiation, it not affect doesn't affect us much, but in reality, it affects a lot more different ways. If you see in recent times, in the last 5 years, whatever the things that you might be touching in the environment, you some people get this kind of mild shock. Like if you're touching your car, you're getting a shock. If you're touching your sofa, you're getting a shock. If you're touching the railings in the mall, if you go to a mall, there is escalator railings, and you when touch it for the first time, you experience kind of mild shock. For people think it is static electricity, right? Static electricity is only in winters, but not all of the years. So it's basically it's because of 5G. 5G is almost 25 to 50 times more radiation emitting than 4G. Now, this much amount of radiation is there in the environment. Each and every living thing and non-living thing is going to hold on to the radiation. Now, when you touch it for the first time, you experience this kind of mild shock. And after that, people usually don't experience, but does not mean not affecting you. Not just that, many of people are using Bluetooth headsets, smartwatches. How many of you use Bluetooth headsets, smartwatches, anything like that? Type it in the chat box. Okay. Anyone is using Bluetooth headsets, smartwatches? Just type put yes in the chat box in case if you're using them. Bluetooth earbuds, earpods, airbuds, yeah, 24/7. Okay, earbuds or smartwatches. I'll give you two simple hacks where you can use them in a much more better way. So you need to understand. People think Bluetooth headsets are okay to use them, but you are just putting two sides electromagnetic fields on both sides of your head. you are just putting two sides electromagnetic fields on both sides of your head, which is literally emitting radiation directly to your brain, which is literally emitting directly radiation to your brain, which is frying up your brain with radiation. Now that's the reason many people feel lethargic, many people feel lazy, many people feel drowsy, many people feel headaches and stuff like that. So what you can do instead what you can do is you can replace them with, yes, you can replace them with wide based headset. So what is basically wide based headset? You all know we have been using from very long time. So, and you might ask me, Akhil, today's mobile phones do not have an option to connect with wire, right? So you get something called as DAC. This cable is called DAC. Okay, just invest in this DAC. This DAC is going to help you to use all of your wired headsets with your latest mobile phones. It's going to cost you about 1,000 to 1,500 rupees. Just invest in this, and that will make sure so that you're not directly in contact with radiation for most of the period of time. Okay, it's called DAC, digital to analog converter. So it's very easy, just simple change that you can do. Another thing that you can do is if you are someone who has been using smartwatches, whether it is Apple, whether it is Samsung, whether it is any other smartwatches, the simple thing is that you are putting it on your wrist. The Bluetooth is constantly emitting, and it is sending the frequencies to the your mobile phone. And not just that, it is all, if it is having LT or SIM version, it is always gathering a lot of network, which is basically radiation. The simple hack that you can do is, if you want to track your fitness, if you want to track your steps, if you want to track your details of your health, that's absolutely okay. Do the simple thing: keep your watch, turn off your Bluetooth, and turn off your network in your smartwatch. Turn off your Bluetooth and turn off your network, which is LTE, from your smartwatch. And absolutely, if you turn this off, the Bluetooth signals will be not emitting, the LTE signals will not be emitting, but still you can track your steps, but still you can track your health, but still you can track your parameters. Absolutely fine. So when you want to see it on your phone by the end of the day, when you remove your watch, then you can turn on the Bluetooth and then see the data, see the parameters, how you have performed, and you can compare it with the previous days and stuff like that. So it's a simple hack. Just turning off the Bluetooth and turning off the LTE makes the game. Okay, but it's that simple. It's not like very difficult or hard or something like that. Okay, moving forward, next one is artificial fragrances, like using of perfumes and deodorants and air fresheners and stuff like that. This is also one important thing. There is not even a 0.001% of these perfumes are natural. Now, all these perfumes have a lot of synthetic chemicals. They are made in lab. They have a lot of artificial chemicals. They have a lot of toxic heavy metals. Okay, they are. If you want, just flip the bottle and try to read, then you cannot even pronounce the names of it. That toxic they are. And if you're putting them on your body, or you're putting the, even if you're inhaling them, many people ask me, Akhil, we're not putting on our body, we are putting on the clothes, so there's no issue with that. No, there's still issue, because it's not about you putting on your body or not, it's about you inhaling them. And these are more toxic than cigarettes. Okay, because cigarettes is nicotine, but if you come to perfumes and deodorants, it's pure chemicals. So what you can do, you can switch to essential oil based perfumes. You can switch to a lot of organic oil, essential oil based perfumes. There's lavender oil, there's geranium oil, there's citrus oil based perfumes. A lot of things are there which you can absolutely walk upon and start using them. Okay, so yes, moving forward, what are the other triggers that you actually have? Is, I'm going to show you one second. Let me stop my screen. Yes, what are the next triggers that we usually have over here? Yes. Yes. So let me give you some kind of hacks as well for this. Yes. I think screen should be visible. Is my screen visible, guys? Yes, it should be visible now. Great. So, what are the next things, right? So, as I mentioned, you can also, every one of you can take down the notes as well. It's always better to take notes, okay? So, if you're having artificial fragrances like air fresheners, agarbattis, using incense candles, perfumes, deodorants, and cleaning products, you have to replace them with organic ones. You have to replace them with organic ones. Okay, and then comes radiation. As I mentioned, there's mobiles, Wi-Fi, medical scannings, and stuff like that. What can you do for radiation? Very simple things. Before you sleep, before you sleep, just turn off your Wi-Fi's and keep your mobile phones at least 6 feet away from your body. Next thing what you can do is grounding. So every day, not every day, if it is possible every day, you can do it. But if it's not possible, weekly, twice or thrice, you need to ground yourself on the ground. That means you have to walk barefoot on land, normal land, not on concrete, not on tiles, not on anything. You have to walk on land. Maybe you can go to a park, a garden, and you can just walk barefootly. That's going to help you to remove radiation as soon as possible. Not just that, there are some fruits like aloe vera. Okay, aloe vera is very good at removing radiation. There's one more food. There is banana. Banana is very good at removing radiation. Cruciferous vegetables is also very good at removing radiation. I hope you're all taking notes. Son. I hope you're taking notes, right? Yes. Cruciferous vegetables you can take. That's going to help you to remove radiation. There is banana you can take, which is going to help you to remove radiation. There is aloe vera as well as potatoes is going to help you to remove radiation. There is onions is also going to help you to remove radiation. Okay. Then the environmental triggers are, there is cosmetics. If you want to use cosmetics, you can use, but these cosmetics you can definitely use something like organic ones. Again, essential oil based cosmetics are there, organic cosmetics are there, which you can absolutely use them. Okay. Then comes heavy metals, as I mentioned, mercury, aluminum, lead, nickel, cadmium, and stuff like that, arsenic and stuff like that, are going to create problem. So what you can do is very simple. Use stainless steel. Okay, and use ceramic. Okay, use glass bottles. Okay, you can use these things. I'm just putting this. Use this instead. Okay, instead of using aluminum vessels, cast iron vessels. Okay, non-stick Teflon coated vessels. Use these tri-ply variety of stainless steel, ceramic vessels, glass bottles, glass vessels, glass containers, and cookware, and all these things. You can use them. Okay, instead of using cleaning products and cosmetics and perfumes, artificial fragrances, what you can do is you can use something called as um, yes, you can use essential oil based perfumes. Essential oil based perfumes. Okay. And another root causes, coming to the next root cause, is basically viruses. Okay. Living, there are two kinds of toxins, guys. To summarize it very simply, there are two kinds of toxins. One is living toxins, and one is non-living toxins. Okay, living toxins are the one which is basically which have a life to them, a small amount of life, which is bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites and stuff like that. Bacteria, Streptococcus, H. pylori, E. coli, Salmonella bacteria. Viruses are like EBV, HPV, HHV, COVID, shingles, and stuff. Okay, these kind of viruses are there. Now, even bacteria and viruses have an ability, have a tendency to give you diseases, give you chronic conditions. It can be different kinds of autoimmune, different kinds of cancers, different kinds of liver and gut health issues, and multiple issues like that. Okay, so to summarize, these are the root causes, these are the living toxins, and these are the non-living toxins, which you need to be careful of. Now, there is one important thing. The important thing is that I can give you best food on the planet. Like I can give you the healthiest, best food on the planet. Okay, the organic food. It's not grown with pesticide. It's completely made with organic matter and stuff. But still, if you're exposed to this kind of environmental toxins, if you're exposed to this kind of pathogens and stuff like that, you will still have issues. You'll still have issues. You'll still have health conditions. How many of you didn't know this before? Type about me in the chat box. How many of you didn't know this before? How many of you thought it's only about food and lifestyle? It's not about this. Just type out me in the chat box. Yes. Okay. It's not about. It's not just about food. It's about the things that you are using on an everyday basis, and these affect the longevity. These things affect the longevity. How many of you know Warren Buffett? If you know, type out me in the chat box. How many of you know Warren Buffett? Yes. Do you know the major part of Warren Buffett's diet at the age of 85 plus is McDonald's burgers. Okay, is Coke and McDonald's burgers. Yes, that's true. And he's 85 plus and is doing healthy. How? It's because they take care of what they're exposed to in a much more different way. Like, that what they're exposed to, whether they're exposed to viruses and bacteria or not, what kind of utensils they are using, what kind of cookware that you're using, what kind of toxins they are exposed to. That matters more. And usually, millennials and billionaires, they're not exposed to these things very frequently. And that's what makes them to keep your diseases away. Not just that, how many of you have seen your friends who will be eating all the crappiest food possible, all the junk food possible, but they're doing absolutely fine? How many of you have seen those kind of people in your life? People who eat all junk food, people who eat all the kind of crappiest food and all the oily food, fatty food, but still they're doing absolutely fine. Why? Because they might not have the toxins that you are exposed to from for a long period of time, but you are having a toxin that is not there in them. That's the main reason what differentiates between them and you. Now let's proceed to certain foods which you can have and which you cannot have. Okay, so let's move forward. So first things first, I want to ask each and every one of you over here, how many of you eat fruits every day? Type out me in the chat box. How many of you eat fruits every day? Okay, some of you, sometimes. Yes. Okay. How many of you, yeah. How many of you don't eat fruits at all? Like, you very rarely, maybe like once in a week, once in 10 days, if you're that one, type on me in the chat box. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll try to explain you, yeah, 3 to 4 days a week. That's a good one. Okay. So I'll try to explain you what are the foods that can help you heal you, and what are the foods that you should be limiting yourself from. So let's understand. So there are about four categories of foods that can help you heal. Okay, preferably three only, but there are, sorry, preferably 4 to 5 categories of food which can help you heal. Okay, so let me share my screen. Yes. So healing foods are basically four categories. Now, what are these four categories? Fruits, okay, vegetables, okay, herbs and spices, and some of the nuts and seeds. And some of the nuts and seeds. Fruits, vegetables, herbs and spices, some of the nuts and seeds are the only foods on this planet which have a disease healing capability. These are the only foods on this planet which have disease healing capability as of now, as of today. When it comes to dry fruits also have. Now, don't be in a misconception. When I mention about dry fruit, it is not nuts and seeds. It is basically fruits that are dried. It's basically fruits that are dried. Now, what are these? Raisins, figs, dried berries, prunes, apricots, dates, especially a fruit that has been dried is basically dried fruit. Dried mango. So raisins are dried grapes. What are raisins? Raisins are nothing but dried grapes. Figs, again, dried figs, dried berries, blueberries, cranberries. Okay, dried prunes, dried apricot, dried dates. Now, don't confuse between. Don't think like dried fruit. Dried fruits means it's nuts and seeds also. No, dried fruits are completely healing. Again, fruits are also completely healing. Again, vegetables are also completely. Fruits include all the fruits: papaya, banana, apples, oranges, pineapples, watermelons, muskmelons, pomegranates. All these fruits are healing. Likewise, all the dried fruits are also healing. Likewise, all the vegetables are also healing. And all the herbs and spices like turmeric, cinnamon, clove, okay, different kinds of leafy greens and vegetables, and also pudina, which called mint, peppermint, and there is ginger. There is all these herbs and spices are very coriander leaves. It comes in leafy greens as well as spice as well. All these things are very helpful, especially coriander leaves. The coriander family is three vegetables, right? There is coriander, there is parsley, there is cilantro. Now these foods are very helpful to remove toxic heavy metals from your body. and also reduce oxidative stress. Okay, coming to the nuts and seeds. Not all nuts and seeds are healing. Only some of the nuts and seeds are healing. So what are these? Walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, pistachios, and sesame seeds. These are the only nuts and seeds which are actually helpful for you in healing. These are the actual seeds which are helpful for you in healing. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah. Now, one more thing is your aim is to have heal, especially fruits, at least two servings a day. Your goal is to have fruits at least two servings a day, maybe in the morning snack and in the evening snack. Morning snack, you can have an apple with some dates. In the evening, also, you can have a fruit like you can have watermelon, you can have pomegranate, you can have a banana. See, usually in working professional, what we do is we eat our lunch at 2 o'clock, right? And slowly, as time passes, it hits 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. We slowly feel sleepy before we slowly feel hungry. Sometimes we feel like drowsy. And what we actually do is we go and grab a cup of coffee or tea to help us concentrate, right? So that's coffee is again it triggers the adrenaline, which is your stress hormone, which gives you a fake energy, not a real energy. So what can you do? You can eat a piece of fruit over there, fresh fruit. You can eat a banana. You can carry a banana to your office. You can carry some kind of apple to your office. Maybe you can cut your pomegranate in the morning and you can take it to the office. Maybe you can do the muskmelon and stuff like that. When you add fruits over there, not just that, you're not just putting caffeine into your body. You're just putting a lot of fruits, a lot of antioxidants, a lot of polyphenols, a lot of phytonutrients, a lot of disease-fighting nutrients are there. So you can add these things. So kindly add two servings of fruits every day. So how many of you will be doing this? Type out me in the chat box. How many of you will be adding two servings of fruits every day? Type out, yeah, type out me in the chat box. That's good to know. That's good to know. Every one of you have to do that. Great. Now, if you some of you might also ask, why do only these fruits and vegetables have herbs and spices have healing capabilities? The reason for that is because only fruits and vegetables and herbs and spices have something called as antioxidants. They have something called as antioxidants. They have something called as polyphenols. Okay, they have something called as phytonutrients. Okay, they have a lot of disease fighting nutrients, especially antioxidants, polyphenols, phytonutrients, stuff like that. This is a major reason why they are able to help you heal you from a disease. These components are the major reason why they have the disease fighting capability. The other foods don't have antioxidants, don't have polyphenol, don't have phytonutrients as much as these healing foods have. This is what makes them healing foods. This is what makes them healing foods. Now, yes, yes, yes. You can start with one serving, and slowly you can go up to two servings and three servings as well if your bandwidth allows it. Now, moving forward. Now, what are the foods that you have to minimize, or what are the food that you have to reduce? Are basically, let me help you understand this. So these are basically called as no foods, or you have to take these foods minimally. You have to take these foods minimally. So what are these foods? All the dairy products, milk, cheese, butter, paneer, buttermilk, curd, yogurt. You have to you can take this. It's not like you should not be completely eliminating or something like that, but you should minimize the consumption of these foods. Okay, you have to reduce it, maybe one time a day, or maybe once in 2 to 3 days, or twice in a week, something like that. You have to reduce this consumption of foods if you want to have longevity, especially. Okay, so all dairy products, product that is having gluten, which is your wheat, maida, barley, soya, basically soy products, eggs, corn, fish. Why fish? Because you might be wondering why is the guy stealing fish? Because fish has mercury. Fish is the highest source of mercury because the industrial waste is dumped in water, and fish accumulates the toxins that are dumped in the water, and it will store it. It'll accumulate because fish has fat, and fat is a storage mechanism of toxins. Fat can store toxins easily, even in your body. And GMO food means genetically modified foods. Currently, we have wheat, we have soy, and we have corn, which are genetically modified. Okay, because these are genetically modified, these are not good for you in long term. And then comes caffeine, whether it is tea, whether it is coffee, whether it is green tea, whether it is any kind of caffeinated products like your cool drinks, or whether it's your extreme dark chocolate, extreme caffeinated chocolates, triggering stimulation, stimulants, even like smoking and stuff like that is not good for you. Now, these foods are the ones which you have to minimize them. Okay, you have to minimize. Let's say you're taking every day, do it one day by day, do it day by day. Let's say you're taking every day, do it day by day. Maybe you can take about 4 times a week. Now let's say if you're taking 3 to 4 times a day, sorry, 3 to 4 times a week, maybe you can minimize it to twice a week. Maybe you're taking 3 times a day, maybe you can minimize it to 1 time a day. Okay, maybe you can minimize it to 1 time a day. Now once you minimize these things, what you have to add, yes, what you have to add is you have the bandwidth to add these foods more. Once you minimize the above ones, you have the bandwidth to add these foods a little bit more. Now you might ask, what about other things? Like there is grains, there is lentils, there is pulses, there is chicken, there is meat, and what about that? I'm coming to that. These are called neutral foods. These are called neutral foods. Now, what are neutral foods? All grains, your rice, your ragi, your bajra, your jowar, your all these things come under neutral foods. Okay, the same like your lentils, legumes, pulses, all these things also come under neutral foods. All the nuts and seeds except these, all the nuts and seeds except these also come under neutral foods. And also fermented foods like kombucha, kefir, kimchi, there is sauerkraut, there's pickles. If you would love to do that, these also come into neutral foods. Now, what is the role of neutral foods? If we have no foods, if we have healing foods, but what is the role of neutral food? Neutral foods, they don't heal your disease, neither they cause the disease. They won't heal your disease, neither they cause the disease. But what they do is they are very important because they give you calories. They give you calories. They give you what you call it as energy. They have denser calories. That's why they give you energy. Here, there's also meat. Okay, meat like chicken. Okay, so chicken is also neutral food. Okay, if it is not processed, if it is not processed too much, then it's also a neutral food. Now these things will give you energy because these have calories, these have the minerals, these have the things that will help you to do your daily chores. So for example, let's say Akhil asks us to do the fruits and vegetables are healing, and let's say you're only doing fruits and vegetables every day, you lose weight rapidly. You will be losing weight rapidly unless you take so much fruit. Unless you take so much fruit, you lose weight rapidly because fruits have very, very, very less calories compared to cooked food. So yes, that's the reason you need to have fruits for sure. At the same time, you also need to have grains. You also need to have lentils and legumes. You also need to have chicken if you're a non-vegetarian, right? So it's important for you to have your grains and lentils and pulses, especially rice, ragi, jowar, bajra, whatever the staple that's available at your place. If you don't have gut health issues or stomach health issues, you can absolutely use all of these grains and lentils and legumes. If you have gut health issues, stick to white rice, stick to moong dal, stick to khichdi and that kind of stuff, and then include fruits and vegetables as well. Okay. Now, yes. Now, if you are serious, now if you are very serious about your longevity, you need to keep these things in mind. Okay, you need to keep these things. These are healing food, these are no foods, and these are neutral foods. Now, how your ideal plate should look like? How your ideal plate should look like? Okay, your plate should look like healing foods, which is of 50 to 80% of your plate. Okay, I can it'll be a little bit more generous over here. It can be 50 to 60%. Now this can be 40 to 40 to 50%. Okay, and this can be 5%. Okay, this should be your ideal overall day, how your overall meal should look like. Okay, 50 to 60% you're consuming healing foods, and 40 to 50% you're consuming neutral foods, and only 5%, sometimes less than 5% also, if you can have no food, that is going to help you achieve your longevity goals easily. Now, what are healing? Can anyone now tell what are healing foods? Type it in the chat box. Can anyone tell what are healing foods in the chat box? What are healing foods? Type what are healing foods? Yes. Yes, fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices, okay, dry fruits. These are basically healing foods. Okay, then what are neutral foods? These are basically your legumes, grains, lentils, and pulses. And what are no foods? These are basically your dairy, gluten, soy, eggs, and fish and mercury. So you need to be doing this in this manner. Okay, you need to be doing this in this manner. So these are the things that will help you to achieve your longevity and keep your diseases at bay. So it's not about, let's say you're living like 100 years but still you're suffering with multiple issues, like you're having knee pains, you're having joint pains, you're having many aggressive issues. That's not a life that is worth. So we need longevity with health. So even if you're living 100 years, you should be healthy. You're able to move properly. Your mobility is good. Your energy levels are good. You're able to function better. Your physiological functions are better. All these things should be better when you have to when you want to launch when you name something called as longevity, right? So this is what it is. So to summarize, guys, reduce your exposure to these toxins, reduce exposure to artificial fragrances, radiation, cosmetics, cleaning products, heavy metals, and pollution. This is the first step that you have to do. And the moment you go back to your home after this session, your job is to work on removal of aluminum vessels and replacing them with stainless steel vessels. And if you're using normal water, use something like RO water or good quality water purifiers. If you're using perfumes, switch to essential oil-based perfumes. If you're using different kinds of cosmetics, switch to essential-based cosmetics, essential oil-based cosmetics. If you're exposed to pollution frequently, just use face mask. Use some kind of cleansing once you come back to your home. Use some steam inhalation and stuff like that. Okay, this is the first thing that you have to do the moment you start, and after this you can work upon your no foods, healing foods, and neutral foods. Okay, so this is and if you do this kind of stuff, you will be able to achieve longevity easily and you can keep the disease at bay. Okay, this is from my side. Yes, over to you, Akanksha. Yes.
Yes, Akhil, thank you so much for sharing these valuable sessions. Few of the things
Yes.
I already knew, but few of the things are absolutely new to me. So I'm sure
Mhm.
that others would also be agree with me that there are things which we are aware, but there are a lot of things which we are not aware at all when it comes to longevity and health conditions. Now, I
Correct.
have few questions, and I'm sure that others would also be having some questions. So, guys, please put your questions in our comment box, and I would be adding you on the stage so that you can directly connect with Akhil. So, first question I have, Akhil, since I'm living in Gujarat, right? So, most of the Gujaratis guys are not vegetarian, but they
Right.
consume a lot of dairy products in terms of paneer,
Yes.
then buttermilk, then lassi
Yes.
and chas, all these things, right? And you said
Yes.
that we should have it. This is a no food, right? Or at least we should have
Right.
reduced to 5%.
Reduced of
So
it. Yes.
yeah, correct. So how can we do it? And since it is a generational conditioning we have, so how we can overcome this?
Correct. Yeah. So the problem is because the dairy that used to have before, like before 20, 30 years, it was pure. Okay. The cows were good. The cultivation of the milk and dairy industry was little good. But right now it's all machinery and it is fed by injections of steroids. So the quality of milk
Hmm.
is a lot different from what it was there before. And second thing, the currently the milk that is coming, because with respect to all the steroids and stuff, it is forming a lot of mucus in our body. So usually dairy is mucus forming by nature, but usage of this kind of chemicals makes it more acidic, which is not usable by your body. So in fact, in our practice, just by removing dairy products for a period of time or reducing it by a period of time, they have seen massive improvements in their health conditions, whether it is be it their gut health issues, people, especially kids who have sinus issues or asthma issues. We have seen massive changes just by introduction of this dairy products, just by a week or something like that. So that is the reason you can do. But yes, it's not like you should be, completely removing them. For example, I love paneer. I love
Hmm.
butter naan and stuff like that. You can have your favorite food maybe once in a week. Okay, maybe twice in a week. Just treat yourself. That's absolutely fine. But taking, especially if you're having a health condition that is ongoing, then you should be not taking every day. Of course, if you're a healthy individual, that's not a problem. If you can take it every day. But let's say if you are having a health condition, it's always better to minimize it and limit it to 2 times a week or something like that. That's how it is.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And the second question which I had was, um, uh, let's take a scenario, right? So, say for example, we have Roshni in the room, we have Bose Babu in the room, and we have Sangeeta in the room, right? They are at different age group, and they are into different the working conditions. So maybe
Right.
Bose Babu is senior leadership, so he might be dealing with lots of stress and brain
Right.
fatigue and everything, right? Roshni is not
Hmm.
that a senior, but
Hmm.
still she would be busy with mental activities.
Correct.
So
Correct.
if somebody who is fresher, who is studying, and if somebody who is
Hmm.
very senior, what,
Hmm.
and if somebody is trying to prevent the health condition,
Hmm.
and if somebody is already having the health condition, so how these
Yes.
two scenario we can
Can be
cover?
differentiated.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. So let's take two people. Okay. Let's say a person is having a lot of mental stress. Okay. He is
Hmm,
dealing with a lot of clients and maybe in business and stuff like that. You use a lot of mental ability.
hmm,
So here is the usual thing is we go for coffee or tea to keep
hmm,
ourselves awake. That's a major problem that we have. But
hmm,
what that does is coffee and tea. I think we have done it in the past, like some 2 years ago. We have done it on the coffee and tea. It gives you adrenal fatigue. The adrenal fatigue, what it does, it ages you faster, and that gives people wrinkles in the skin is much faster. It gives hair
hmm,
fall and stuff like that. So what can you do? Your brain runs on glucose. Your brain doesn't run on protein. Your brain doesn't run on fat. Your brain runs on clean glucose. So what you can do is you can take glucose sources like say raw honey. Raw honey is
hmm,
easy to carry, right? So you can have 3 to 4 spoons of raw honey at once. If that's the case, if you have a high mental clarity that you want, or else you can have coconut water. Coconut water is best
hmm,
thing. It has minerals, it has glucose. Or there is lemon honey water you can take. There is sugar cane juice that you can take. When you include this kind of drinks, which is rich in glucose and minerals, that will give the
hmm,
brain the power that it requires to sustain deliver of energy. Now,
okay.
coming to the next question, if a person is already having a disease, what they
Hmm,
have to do? It's simple logic. As I mentioned, you need to take 40% to 50% of healing foods, then again 40 to 50% neutral foods, then 5% of no foods, right? Now, if a
hmm,
person is dealing with health condition, the healing food should be going up to 70%.
hmm,
Okay, that means a combination of fruits, vegetables, and herbs and spices. Herbs and spices is not just about sprinkling them on your food. Like there's a herbal tea is there, peppermint tea, okay,
hmm,
lemon balm tea. There is milk thistle tea. This also comes in healing food. The combination of healing food should go up to 70%. Instead of
hmm,
taking 1 2 servings of fruits, you'll be taking 3 to 4 servings of fruits. That will help you with diseases. Now, prevention can happen with just 2 servings. But if
hmm.
you want to heal, you need to have more fruits and vegetables. That the combinations of it. That's how it is.
Got it, got it. I
Yeah.
think Roshni have a question. So Roshni, I'll add you in the chat box. Yeah. Now, Roshni, you can unmute and ask the question.
Hey, hi, Akhil.
Yes. Hi,
So
Roshni. How are you?
my question I have already. If kids not eating fruit because my son is not eating any of the fruit, only
Yes.
apple, peeling
Yes.
of the upper part. That's it.
Yes.
What is the
Yes.
alternative? If
What is the alternative? See, for kids especially, yes, there are some tantrums and stuff. What you can do is you can have some creative ways of giving fruit to them. For example, he's okay to eat apples, which is good. You can give them. Now, for kids, you need to give choices. For example, he comes back from school. Okay. Now, what you have to tell is, I have banana and I have apple. What do you want to choose? See, kids love to choose. It's a behavioral concept. Let's say you have I have watermelon, I have pomegranate. These are the only two options that we have. Now he chooses the one that he likes. In only in these two. Okay, you have the choice should not be like chips and fruit. The choice should be like the healthy two ones. Or else, if he likes bel puri, this puffed rice and bel puri, right? You can chop vegetables like tomatoes, some coriander, some onions, and make bel puri out of it. Okay, ask him now. Do you want apple or do you want bel puri? He'll choose bel puri. Still, it's good, right? It has vegetables. It has all the stuff. For example, let's say you can choose one more thing. Like, do you want to eat a banana or you want a coconut water? Okay, that's what it is. Or you want some kind of fruit, or you want a sugar cane juice, which is sweet more, a little bit of more sweet and stuff. Okay, so that you have to give choices to the kids. Another way is what you can do is you can make ice popsicles with fruit. Okay, like let's say there is apples and then there is pomegranates. What you can do is you can juice these fruits and you can ice popsicles, right? So the normal ice lickies and stuff. You can put them into ice trays and make a kind of ice popsicle for them. So that they will love. So do you want to eat apple or do you want to eat this ice popsicle? So he will choose ice popsicle. Now that is also made of fruit. You cannot get with sugar and honey. That's not a problem at all. So that's how the creative ways you have to explore when you're giving it your kids. That's how it is. Hope that answers you. Any other further questions? Great, great. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm sure that people are getting value out of it, and there are
Yes.
audience in our room that they have kids also, they have old age also. So Sangeeta is asking something,
Yes.
so maybe I can add Sangeeta here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sangeeta, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hi, thank you, Akansha, for arranging this session, and thank you, Akhil. It was
Yes.
very informative. I
Yes.
see you told right there are the foods which are means good like salads, but nowadays
Yes.
salads are made with sauces. What about
Yes.
this? So
Yes.
how about sauces?
So salads, see, if you're preparing in your home, it's always healthy, right? Let's say you're going to a
Hmm.
restaurant and ordering a salad, you need to give your request to them. Like for example, don't add mayonnaise or don't add too much fat. Okay, do not add certain things. You have to curate for your needs if you're going to a restaurant. But when you're living in your home, you can make it by yourself. There's cucumber, there's carrots, there is beets, there's broccoli, you can saute the vegetables, you can steam the vegetable. It's up to you what you can do. But let's say you're going outside, you need to customize it for yourself. The sauces that they are using, you should be asking, use the organic ones or not organic one. Use the one that is not coming from any no foods. Like let's say mayonnaise is there. Mayonnaise has egg, it has dairy, right? Which is not good for you. You can ask them to go for tomato sauce, okay? Which is again, you can ask them to go for pure tomato sauce that is made from the tomatoes. So you have to create when you go outside. That's how it is. But when you're in your home, absolutely fine, no issues.
Good.
Yes, you
Thank
can
you.
use olive oil if you want. That's also fine. I think she was. Yeah. Sorry, Akansha, you're on mute.
Yeah, so I think why she has asked this question, because she also having the children at her home, and children
Yeah.
are very problematic when it comes to salads and all. So I think, Sangeeta, what we have learned is you have to be creative while serving to the
Yes.
people, or especially the kids, and we have to gamify there. Choose
Yes.
which salads you may like to have, maybe with pomegranate, maybe with apple, maybe with banana, or
Yeah.
something like that. So we have to add
Yeah,
their
and
choices in the salad.
if children's like sauces, that's fine. No, because
Mm,
sometimes no, that's fine. It's okay, but it's not like we are taking it every day. So let's say on some weekdays they prefer to have some sauces. Let them have twice a week.
correct.
Other days you can
Correct.
give the without sauces as well.
Yeah. So, Sangeeta, if you have further question, please let me know. I'll add you back on the stage. But meanwhile, we have question from Bose Babu. So let me add him here.
Yes.
Yeah. So Bose Babu. Yeah.
Yeah, uh, Akhil, it
Yes.
was
Hi, boss.
excellent,
How are you?
and I think you had explained very well to like a
Yes.
layman and understand this language. And I'm sure
Yes.
because I think many things I think we don't know what we are eating, why we are
Yes.
eating. So whatever is
Yes.
I think normally people follow. Because I have one question based on the fasting because like Akanksha is also talking about Gujarat. So I've been now with
Yeah.
almost 26 to Gujarat. So there are a
Yes.
lot of fasting do it over here. Some people do start from a weekly ones and monthly ones and then
Hmm. Hmm.
yearly ones.
Yes.
There are
Yes.
categories and do continuous. So what is your opinion and suggestions for the fasting? Which one is
Yeah.
good and
So, fasting, like let's say people are now, there is a trend that's going, which is called intermittent fasting, right? So, intermittent fasting is not advisable for everyone. Okay. Like,
okay?
let's say there are people who are doing like 16 hours fasting every day, which is not good. But yes, if you want to have a fast, like let's say you're doing fasting once in fortnight, once in 15 days, that's absolutely fine. There's no issue at all. You can absolutely do it because your body will get a break. That's absolutely good. But the people who do this intermittent fasting and in this fasting, they rely on coffee or tea. which is again bad. Which is like you're not relying on calories, you're relying on adrenaline, which is cortisol, basically your stress hormone, which is not good for you. And people think when you're doing intermittent fasting, they think they're losing weight, but that's not true. They're actually increasing their stress hormone, eventually ending up gaining more and more weight. That's what it is. So if you want to do fasting, yes, if you have religious fasting, absolutely do it. I think Navratri is the one place where you do fasting in an entire year. That's one of the time that you can do, absolutely, there's no issues. And if you want to do normal fasting, you can do once in fortnight, once in 15 days, once in a week. If you want, 1 in 15, 20 days is a good ideal time that I would recommend both.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
Roshni is also asking about the broccoli, so maybe you can
yes.
add some value. Yeah.
Yes, broccolis are healthy. All the cruciferous family, like cruciferous vegetables like broccolis, cauliflowers, cabbage, turnips, radishes, purple, pink radishes, purple cabbage. All the cruciferous vegetables are very, very healing. They have iodine. In fact, people are asked not to take cruciferous vegetables in thyroid issue, but in our practice, we ask them to take cruciferous vegetables, but still they heal thyroid. So it's a misconception that people have. You should not be taking the cruciferous, but you should take. And broccolis are very, very helpful. They have a rich number of they're rich in minerals, they're rich in antioxidants. They have a lot of chlorophyll, and they are actually they remove radiation from your body. They remove radiation, they remove plastics, they remove some kind of pollutants from your body, which is very, very healthy. You can take them steamed, you can take them cooked, you can take them raw. Of course, if you are okay with it, you can take. But steamed is the ideal one that you can go, or saute vegetables also you can take. That's how it is.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think yeah, these are the questions which we people have generally in their mind. Now, the last question, which is from my end, Akhil. So, when it comes to old age people, especially our grandmother or mother or father or grandfather, they do not believe in these the latest
Yes.
lifestyle of health conditions, right? So
Yeah.
how to like, and they have their own facts and own justification that we used to have all these things, so now why
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
stopping all these things? So what is
Yes.
the reason you give behind it? Like, of course there is a
Yes.
big
Yes.
charity and everything, but still, do you have any
Yes.
justification for that?
Yeah. There is a absolutely answer for that. It's very simple. Thing is that our grandparents are coming. They are born in 40s or 50s, right? 1940s, 50s, or some that kind of places, or even a little bit more. Now, that time, what was the air quality? Okay, what did we use artificial products? There was no Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or this kind of stuff. There was no. 1 second, I just yeah. There was no aluminum vessels. We used to use earthen mud pots, stuff like that. So that let's say so that means they were exposed to toxins way long. That means they were exposed to toxins after they went into what do you call it? Uh, in their 60s, in their 70s, they're exposed to toxins. Like let's say we are exposed to toxins at the age of, like for example, like myself. So I'm currently at 28, right? I was exposed to toxins maybe from 2000, year 2000. Okay, but my grandparents exposed to toxins when their age was about 50 or 40 or 50 or 60. Now I was exposed to toxins when I was 5 or 6. Okay. Now the today kid is exposed to toxins from the womb itself. Okay. The more time you're exposed, the more diseases you get. Now that's the reason that even my grandparents say this, right? So hum to kha rahe, hum to dairy kha rahe, protein kha rahe, kuch nahi ho raha humko. Because the exposure of toxins is very, very late. The onset of toxins. Now toxins doesn't play a role very fast. It takes 2 to 3 decades. Now, if you see, we started to use this kind of artificial product from 1990s. That was the time when television came to households, and we started to watch these things. Now it at least take 2 to 3 decades for us to show the symptoms. Now, if you see, we are exactly 3 decades old, from 90s to 2020 and now 20s. Now you can see the rise in diseases, rise in autoimmune conditions, childhood eyesight issues. People are getting eyesight from the womb itself. Why? Because they are exposed to the toxins from their womb itself. Now, we expose the toxins from, let's say, I was exposed to toxins when I was 5 or 10, or maybe in my teens. Our grandparents exposed to toxins when they are 50 or 60 or 40. At that time, the immune system is developed, right? So children immune system is very, very weak. That's why it can attack faster. So because the exposure is very late for them, it is not affecting them much. That's why they only get diabetes or blood pressure. These are the only diseases that they get. But if you see today, we are getting autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, there is Hashim, there is psoriasis, eczema, there is brain conditions like autism, ADHD, OCD. That's the reason for that. So the exposure matters when it is exposed. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand now. Like, so yeah, that's the reason that we are living in a different environment what they used to be. And
Yeah.
so this is one last question which I had came into my mind. So
Yes.
uh, how mental status, like for example, we are talking about the busy professionals, this the entrepreneurs who have their own challenges, mental stress and
Yes.
everything. Does their
Hmm.
mental stress cause any physical disease?
So it's why it's not absolutely correct. It's not absolutely right. People say stress causes disease, right? But stress does not cause disease directly. Okay, but stress can trigger you to reduce the immune system. For example, let's say many people say that stress is the root cause of all diseases, which is not true, because stress is there in existence for centuries together, right? It has been there existing from thousands of years, maybe. And each and every animal also goes through stress, right? Now, why everyone is not having diseases? Why only some of the people are having diseases? That is because if you already have toxins in your body, like let's say you have metals, you have viruses, you have pathogens, you have all the stuff, then stress can trigger them. Let's say I have metals, let's say I have toxins. Now, if I have stress, my immune system goes down, right? When my immune system is low, the toxins can attack me more. Correct? So that's how you get more diseases. For example, there's one more person, maybe your friend or maybe your colleague, who has the same level of stress as you, but he is absolutely doing fine. We have seen those kind of people. Why? But because they don't have the toxins that you have. When they get, yes. But yes, chronic stress can lead to mind not functioning properly. Let's say people got a divorce. Okay, for example, people got a breakup. And you might have seen, right? People who got divorced and breakup. After you see them for after some months, they end up gaining weight. Okay, how is that? Because prolonged amount of stress triggers the hormone cortisol, and cortisol is a stress hormone. And cortisol, for a prolonged period of time, is not good for the body. It's a toxin, right? That is stored in the fat tissue. So that's how you accumulate fat. So these are some of the side effects that you have, but not actively they cause some chronic issue. But if you have toxins, they will cause. That's how it is.
Understood, understood. So yeah, I think Vijay is also having a question.
Yeah.
uh, uh, Vijay, I am not able to see your audio is connected, so I don't know how. Maybe you can put your question in chat box. Yeah, yeah. Now I can add you.
I'm audible now.
Yes, yes. Vijay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Akanksha
Yes,
and
Akhil.
Akhil, for the good session. So, and I have a question like related to asthma. What do you suggest? Like, because it is like swas rog, like it is related to breathing. So, what
Right.
do you suggest? Anything related to that? And also related to, I have another question related to psoriasis. So, this is a seasonal, this one. So, there's no solution for this. Like, what do you suggest? Like, and I can also see that it will related to gut. So, these are related to, like, one is related to gut issues, like the psoriasis. Other one, it's related to this, like exposure. So, how much you get exposed outside. So, any
Yeah.
suggestions on this? It will help.
Yes, Vijay. So first thing, the misconception that is psoriasis is completely healable. Asthma is completely healable. It's not like it's not healable completely. We have many clients who have healed. I personally had eczema for 8 years and completely reversed. Okay, so it's not like you cannot heal them completely. That's the first thing. Second thing is why they come. It's not everything in there in the gut. It's not that. So psoriasis is because when you have a lot of copper and aluminum in your body, okay, as a metals, especially when you have a lot of copper and aluminum in your body with the exposure of multiple exposure types, it's because of that. And asthma is because of a bacteria, a lot of bacteria in your body. That's how it is, especially streptococcus bacteria. Now you have to reduce your dairy products for sure, especially for asthma and psoriasis both. You have to reduce your dairy products. What you can add, you can add citrus fruits, okay, and you can also add
Fruits.
oregano, raw garlic. There is something
Yes.
called as thyme. This thyme is a herb. It is good. Thyme tea. It's
Another
very
good
very
thing.
helpful. Raw garlic is very very helpful. Oregano is very, very helpful. So these things can help you, Vijay. And yes, 100% healing is also possible for that. You have to do some uh, strategic protocols for that for the next 2 to 3 months. That's how it is. Yes, Vijay. Hope that answers your question.
Okay, so you mean to say, okay, thank you for the suggestions. So, Akhil, so you mean to say these are curable. Only thing is you need to know like what to be eaten, and
Yes,
dairy
yes,
products which is indirectly flaring up your
yes,
like
yes,
indirectly it is flaring up. And in see
yes.
like inside the bacteria we can't do anything, right? Like anything which you can, only thing is like you need to eat which is suppressed, which can be
Hmm.
suppressed or which can be taken away from your body. You're saying the bacteria.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. True. So you either
Okay.
feed the bacteria or you either kill the bacteria, right? So you
Okay.
feed the bacteria by eating processed foods and a lot of dairy and a lot of no foods. Okay. Now you suppress the
Hmm.
bacteria by eating a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of herbs and spices. These are antiviral by nature on themselves itself. That is how
Hmm.
you do that. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Akhil, and
Hope that.
thank you, Akanksha, for the session.
Yes, great. Okay,
All
Kanisha, over
right,
to
all
you.
right. So I think people are getting the answers of their questions pending since long, and they are getting
Yeah.
the confusion is getting clear. So thanks a lot, Akhil, for sharing these input. And there are a lot of questions, and there are a lot of subtopics which we have not covered. For example,
Yes.
maybe we can talk about in some session we can talk about specifically to diabetes, maybe specifically to
Right.
cancer or the heart disease, right? So I would be looking forward to have you again in our community, and
Sure.
I would be looking forward to have such inputs further so that we can live a life which is belonging to a healthy longevity. Thank you so much, everyone, joining in,
Absolutely.
and looking forward to have you again. Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Kanisha. Take care.
Thank you.